There's a reason. There's a reason why I'm so happy. And it's because, well, this is the Sepsiss Show. This is the Sepsiss Show podcast. But the real reason why I'm excited is because this is a very special podcast where we're going to do another interview.
Yay!
What do you guys think at home? Should we do more interviews on the Sepsiss Show in the future?
That's a good question.
I mean, like, is that something you guys would be interested in? So, if you are, let us know in the chat and tag anybody that you want us to interview. Let us know if you want us to do more interviews, especially with local, regional artists, bands, promoters, stuff like that. But today is a very special Sepsiss Show because we are interviewing one of my favorite guests yet. Stick around because at the end, at the last segment of the show, we will finally, after all the years of him interviewing us, we will finally get the opportunity to interview none other than WMNH 95.3's own Mr. Matt Connarton. Wow. Yo, I'm so excited.
This is so fun.
I mean, just a quick backstory. We've been a band for a greater 15, 16 years. And before 2019, we didn't record any professional music or try to make any demos. We've always been a band that's a work in progress. We've always been a band that people have said in the past that we're rough around the edges and we need some more work. And I don't think that changed in 2019. But what I'm saying is, prior to that, we really sounded bad. Well, I mean,
Decently bad.
right. And we're still a work in progress. But in 2019, we met Glenn Robinson and we started to learn how to record. We started to learn how to track ourselves out. And one of the first people that played one of our demos in 2018 was Matt Connarton. Back when nobody really gave us a chance and we really sounded bad. One of our first demo singles was the song The Swarm. And till this day, strangely enough, our most streamed song to date. It's the weirdest thing. Because I think out of all of our music, that is one song that is least like our traditional music. Go figure. It's our sweet cherry pie. I do think The Swarm is significant, though. I think we were able to have some foresight. And when you look back at the content and what the song is about, it's very much is dealing with a lot of the main topics that we hear today with like AI and Web3 and everything becoming advertising and marketing and bots. And that's what The Swarm was about, and how technology seemingly is supposed to make life easier for us. At the same time, people aren't any happier, relationships aren't any deeper, and people aren't making more money. With all the apps and social media and gadgets and phones and bitcoins, people aren't falling in love more. People aren't having more babies, and certainly people aren't recording more music.
That's very
oddly
true.
enough. But shout out to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Please stick around for this whole episode, because at the end we're going to have Matt come on, and I can't wait to talk about his upbringing, how he got into radio, how he became a hypnotist. Did you know
That's so
Matt Connarton was a hypnotist?
That is so wild. No, I did not.
We're going to find out about that. He's also an avid like wrestling podcaster and commentator. I don't know if people know that. He does a show called Tough Bumps. So we'll ask about that too. Why not? And also we'll talk a little bit about IMP Nation and his relationship with WMNH. And of course, his sponsorship with Swarmy Fest. And if you ever want to know why, this is the reason why we always ask Matt and Jen to come down to Swarmy Fest, because them and also the Hawk,
Yep.
two New Hampshire radio stations that are responsible for playing Sepsiss's absolute worst music. And,
oh my gosh.
and helping us grow. But here's the thing, like you hear about promoters or local managers or tastemakers and talent buyers in the area. People put on shows and people put you on a playlist or whatever, or charge you to do some blogging or to do a press release, right? But very few of these individuals, collectives, companies, entities, very few of them are in the business now of developing the bands. Whereas Matt Connarton and the Hawk are two radio stations in New Hampshire that are very much still responsible for not just playing bands, but developing bands without charging them a fee. That's
awesome.
Fucking huge. Like nobody's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's for hire, you know what I mean? But what Matt does, Matt doesn't charge people to go on WMNH and showcase their talents and talk about their businesses and brands.
Mm-hmm.
That is unheard of for today. You just being able to be invited onto a radio station and hang out and talk about your dreams and your goals, without paying a fee or paying a toll or having to kiss somebody's ass. That's a big deal. Like Matt Connarton, he doesn't beg you to share. He doesn't beg you for, you know what I mean? There's not all these fine prints and stipulations and hoops that you have to jump through. So shout out to Matt. I'm going to actually tag him right now in the comments. Without further ado, everybody, this is the Sepsiss Show. We are a band. We are a hard rock and heavy metal band. Our name is Sepsiss. We are from Manchester, New Hampshire. We look different. We sound a little different than other heavy metal bands, and that's frankly because we are fucking different. This program that we're on right now is a live stream and broadcast. We've been doing podcasting and live chats and Twitch and Facebook Lives for over the years, all culminating in this variety program, a program where we examine the details, the stories, the articles about the music industry. We put them on the screen in back of us so everyone in the chat can read and follow along, so you know that we're not just making shit up as we go along. We also cover social, cultural, and legal topics that relate to the music industry, and some of them that relate to our everyday lives. Love us, hate us, or study us. Go fuck your mother. This is the Sepsiss Show. All right.
Go fuck your mother.
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, the way you said that was funny.
Well, I mean.
Go fuck your mother.
Yep. And don't act like moms don't need their attention. Stop it. Yeah. You guys do know that I'm an entertainer, right? Wait till you see this shit. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is so much fun. I just knew that was going to happen, so I wanted to get through this. They are some lovely ladies, but they're going to have to take a break. Sorry, Meg. I know you guys can't see all the action going on, but there's all these advertisements that I got to click out of. If you're new here, then you're probably like, what the fuck's going on? Wait till you see what I got for you guys. This fucking lag sucks. Such a terrible thing. Okay, now it's just frozen completely. All right. Good gracious. All right, Melissa. Somewhere out there is the producer and lead singer of the show, Melissa Wolf. Are you Are you excited, Melissa? Because look, I told you we've been a band for so fucking long. We were a band on MySpace.
Huh?
You guys, is MySpace coming back? Owners confirm relaunch plans. The platform's owners say it will return. Online users are debating whether MySpace can recreate its old appeal in the current social media landscape. What do you think?
Hey, I think this is what social media needs.
Oh my God, you guys. I mean, look, if you were somebody that didn't like MySpace, Facebook is so fucking predatory and disgusting that like you're considering MySpace.
Yeah.
Give me anything.
There's so much slop on all the other social medias. I think a lot of people want a breath of fresh air with MySpace.
And don't get me wrong, like I predict they'll all stab us in the back and it will all be like, you know, bots and racial
and predators there too.
Yes, they'll all be bots and racial slurs for everyone.
That's terrible.
You know? There'll be misogyny, sexism, stalking and insults, bigotry and hatred for everyone.
So I guess enjoy it until that happens. I don't know.
Right, but until then, you will have HTML, you will have JavaScript, and you will have slow loading pages. Like, I mean, if you think about it, it's better. What would you rather have? MySpace from 2009, 2010, or would you like AI botted child sex predator Facebook of 2026?
2010, please.
Yo, give me some Yahoo any day. This shit is crazy. Like, they're releasing video games with less features. Like they're like the same video games that they released when I was a kid. They're releasing those same games now, but like with less buttons and less moves and less levels and less playlists. Like, what
awful.
the fuck are y'all doing? And people are going for it.
This is terrible.
All right, here we go.
So who's gonna own this?
Start rearranging your top 8. MySpace owners are hinting at a comeback. Chris and Tim Vanderhook, whose company acquired MySpace in 2011, say they plan to relaunch the once dominant social media platform. The brothers confirm their intentions in Tommy Avalon's recent documentary, MySpace, although they have not announced when the relaunch will actually happen or what the hell it's going to look like. They said, we still own MySpace. That's what Tim said. And he said, quote, we are going to relaunch MySpace. We're just waiting for the right time to do it. Tim.
Is there such thing as a right time?
Tim, we're bleeding over here.
Oh, but for real, like, is there such thing as a right time to do something?
If you're a gambler, they believe that. because making predictions and IPOs and Wall Street and Bitcoin, stock market and tech bros, they're all about algorithms and making measurements and metrics and finding purity. If you ever wanted to know why tech bros all go religious and they all go megalomaniac, because you keep staring at them numbers all day, then nothing looks good until it's 100% perfect and fucking pure. It's fucking purity. You're not real hip-hop unless you're 100%. Well, what does that mean? You're not real metal unless you're 100%. What the fuck is that? And who gets to say?
Right.
That's not 100% art. You're not 100% that. It all goes into being 100% African American, being 100% Irish, being 100% woman, being everyone's. Yo. And there's only one type of person who's even interested in measuring any of these phony baloney metrics and symbols. I'll let you guys figure it out. No, honey, we're not doing it. All right. Is that it? I mean,
well, everyone,
Tom.
that's Tom.
I remember. I was trying to think of his name.
Yeah, it's Tom.
I mean, if they relaunch MySpace, are they going to force us to be Tom's friend again? Remember that? Like, that's
I don't want
to
to be forced to be the owner's friend. That's weird.
Well, yeah. It's just like when Elon's Pizza's like, oh, man, I've got millions of followers on fucking Twitter. It's like, no, you're forcing people to, like, when they sign up, they're forced to follow your stupid ass. Nobody would follow anybody that ugly willingly.
Mm-mm.
At least nobody I want over for dinner.
Right.
If you follow Elon's Pizza willingly, you'll never, ever be invited to anything that I'm doing.
Yeah, for real.
Let me find out you follow Elon's Pizza. Little sickos.
Gross.
Let me find out you motherfuckers follow, what's his name there? Andrew Tate, too. You guys probably follow them, too, right? I notice a lot of the guys that follow Elon Musk, they also follow Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan and all these other fucking goofballs.
Everyone else down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
That side of the internet.
Birds of a feather.
They do tend to flock in the same group.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh.
I'm going to give this one to you because I feel like this is right up
Okay.
your wheelhouse.
Thanks.
I'll zap the
Zap it.
I'll zap the shit.
M Shadows exposes the truth about record labels after Avenged Sevenfold go independent.
Hold on a second. When I talk about the truth about record labels, everybody thinks I'm a bad boy.
But when M Shadow does it, he gets a spread and press. Interesting.
I just think that it's the interesting thing is if you're rich, if you're famous, or you're well known, then going independent is like a heroic thing.
Yeah.
But when I talk about independence, as a black guy, people think I'm breaking the law.
Right. Weird.
If I say, "Hey, I want more independence in rock and roll," people think that I'm breaking, that I don't want to be a part of the scene. Why would you want to be a part of some shit that makes people unhappy?
Right.
All right, go ahead. Fucking A. He looks happy to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at this fucking garbage. You can't never get rid of this shit.
No. It's here forever now.
It's here forever.
Here we
And
go.
as soon as I move, it's going to make a move. Go ahead.
Avenged Sevenfold singer M Shadows has opened up about the band's decision to go fully independent. He shared his candid thoughts in a conversation featured on Prince Street Pizza.
That's going to make me hungry.
Right, thanks. Shadows addressed the band's completed deal with Warner Records and explained why he believes signing with a major label no longer makes sense in today's music industry. Has he been watching our program? He says, "We did 8 records with Warner, and then we were done with record labels," Shadow said. "So we are a fully independent band now. 3 years ago was our last album we had to do with Warner. And then because of the way the music industry is now, we don't see a point of ever being on a label again.
Okay, so, I've been saying this for 6 years on this podcast. And the reason why we are covering this article is because some people need to see that even M Shadows, while I seem crazy to a lot of you people when I say the pathway of independence is not through the industry, that may sound crazy to somebody that's getting into the music industry, to an aspiring young person or motivated, dreamy musician that wants to be a part of an idea. Please ask yourself, who presented this idea to you? Where did the image, where did the symbolism, when you think of the music industry and all of its glory, where did those images come from? Because if you ask M Shadows, he's agreeing more with what I've aligned with. What he just said in that last paragraph is more like the things that we say on this program. It's not something a budding, aspiring musician would want to hear. All right.
The frontman went on to detail what he sees as the diminishing value labels bring to artists in the current landscape. He says they really can't do much for you. They'll tell you they can do a lot, but they can't. There's no radio that matters. There's no, besides WMNH, there's no MTV. They're gonna try to get you on TikTok, which everyone can do themselves. In my opinion, they don't bring anything extra to the table. Shadows also reflected on what labels historically offered artists and why those advantages no longer apply. He goes, well, they'd give you an advance. You had no money, so they give you money to record a record. They would hook you up with producers or engineers, mixers, and then they would go play Walmart and Target to put you on their end caps. And then they'd pay radio stations to play you. It's called payola. It was illegal, but they do it. And then they would go hound MTV and get your records played on national television.
Okay, and this is exactly our experience with record labels. When we talk about our experience with tastemakers and record labels, with marketing and managers in rock and metal, we have said this over and over. And it's nice to hear Avenged Sevenfold echoing the same details we've had in the past. They would hook you up with producers or engineers. This is something that record labels used to do. Sepsiss does that for ourselves. So we realized that we didn't need a record label for producers or engineers. Okay? Then they go on to say, and then they would go pay Walmart and Target to put you on their end caps. But now anybody can sell CDs. Anybody can have direct-to-consumer cassettes, vinyls, or CDs from their websites, and even in many situations on Amazon. And there are several distributors and third parties now that are willing to work with independent artists now to get your hard media in other markets. So that's what labels used to do. Now you can do that for yourself. Me and Melissa do it all the time. And then they would pay radio stations to play you. You can pay radio stations to play you now. You won't have to pay Matt Connarton because Matt Connarton knows it's payola. Payola is also illegal. I know you guys know that doesn't matter so much. Slavery was legal. But I just want to point out that when we want to make talking points on the internet, people will shout and scream from the rooftops how legal or illegal something is, and they'll try to attach that to some kind of moral principles that they have acquired and gained an advantage or an authority in a conversation. It's payola. It is illegal. And it's mean, and they're still doing it. Spotify does it. And then they would go, record labels would go hound MTV to get your records played on national television. And you see what's happened to that. So I'm glad that he's come forward, like so many other huge artists have come forward, and I'm loving this. I'm loving this more than ever because it has aligned with all of the programs that we've had about the music industry, from the Honeycomb Hideout to William versus the World and the Sepsiss Show. We're always teaching people that a lot of the stuff that record labels claim to offer you, you can do on your own. Somebody tagged Misanthropic Torment. That's a collective that's always pointing that out. There you have it, y'all. I don't think is there anything? Oh my God. Look at this. Read this real quick. Read this, everybody.
The comments.
Hold on.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
The path to full independence has been years in the making.
Whoa!
The band's exit from the major label system marks the end of a 26-year chapter that reshaped them into one of rock's most commercially successful acts.
So, and there will be a lot of people out there, I'm sure, that will say they would have never had that success if they didn't go through the industry. So some people may say, hey, man, the only reason why y'all could do that now is because all the success that you've had in the industry. Like, you see some of the people that were upset of all of their wacky and crazy new music. One of the arguments is, and I don't share any of these ideas. I'm just presenting them. One of the ideas is people are like, why are you making such terrible music? Because you guys have become so successful on making music that people could embrace. So some people feel a little bit betrayed because they feel like while they understand the artist's ability and freedom to make whatever they want, a lot of fans feel like they deserve nothing but the best. And I don't think that that's unfair. I don't think that's an unfair position. Let me put myself out there. People don't want to hear us make mistakes, Lex.
No.
People that are rooting for us don't want to hear us make terrible music. People that are not rooting for us don't care if we make terrible music. And people that want to see us fail, those people are hoping that we make terrible content and music. But most people don't fucking care, man. Normal people don't give a fuck what we're doing. Only people have to go out of their way and perform and behave like the biggest fucking losers to care one way or the other what we're doing. People that love us don't care that much.
Yeah.
People that really support us and people who are behind us in a healthy way, they don't give a fuck what we're doing. Only parasocial sick people on the internet really care what Melissa's art looks like.
Mm-hmm.
No, but do you think people with any sort of rational mindset give a fuck what I'm saying right now? Only the biggest dummies and idiots online care about what I'm saying or what Sepsiss is doing. The boredest, weakest forms, the lowest wavelength. Those are the only people that hate our guts. And most people that hate our guts are the same people that voted for liable sexual assaulter Donald Trump. The same people that hate our band are the same people who tend to be racist, homophobic, or outspoken against immigrants. And while we are openly political atheists, and we absolutely support no celebrities, no politicians, and no parties. The people that usually don't like me are the same people with that fucking stupid red hat on. So what I'm saying to you is the same people wearing that red hat are the same type of people wearing white sheets. And those are the same type of people that don't like this band. We know of the people who don't like us. And usually, not all, but the ones that are truly outspoken about not liking us are usually people who voted for Donald Trump. And we just happen to know that. We don't care. I'm just telling you.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that people that like us are on their best behavior. We just know this one particular feature. We know you. Take that sheet off. All right. Here we go, guys. Ariana Grande to take a break from public life amid endless scrutiny.
Oh, wow.
I just want to show people like with online and parasocial relationships and, you know, humiliating people and dragging people and let's see what it amounts to. Ariana Grande is taking much deserved break from public appearances and will no longer star in an upcoming musical production in London when she ends her Eternal Sunshine tour. A representative from the U.S. singer, 33, she's 33 now, told People magazine that she, quote, will be taking a step back from visibility. That's an interesting statement. When the tour ends after her appearance led to endless ongoing public scrutiny. Imagine being like this popular and having everybody like.
Seems like this lady just can't do anything without getting public scrutiny.
I don't know. We don't even know what the problem is yet.
Right.
Maybe she did something terrible.
I don't know.
Grande's physical appearance and health have been a topic over speculation over the recent years, I guess. That's what it says. This speculation has increased since the release of her latest album, Pedal, which came out Friday, and her appearance in promotional material for the launch. In the music video, Grande plays a performer who is repeatedly told in auditions that she, quote, isn't good enough and is desperate, and that she should get some work done, and that she is too much work done. The character eventually takes a chainsaw to the critics. Well, that's crazy.
All right. That's a message.
I mean, to some degree, being driven and desperate are two things that I think all artists have, will, or could grapple with during their career. Maybe several times. You know? I think we all can relate to not being good enough. I think we can all relate to being desperate for a job or to pay the rent. I think I can relate to this a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. So it seems like a song about humanity. I'm sorry she's going through that. I thought it was gonna be like something else. But hey, here's the thing, guys. You know, and I just want to point this out to parasocial fans all around the world. You guys have your favorite singers and favorite artists, or even people you hate, like, you know, or people that you follow around. Howard Stern used to be like that. People would swear. Donald Trump's like that. Mm-hmm. People swear they don't like him. And don't get me wrong. Some things are so ugly you just have to watch. Some things are just so gross. You want to keep an eye on it. You know, like Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's a disgusting, child abuser, sex offender. You want to keep your eye on a motherfucker like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why people keep their eye on Donald Trump. It's not that he's renting space in people's heads. No. You want to know where the child predator is, don't you? Mm-hmm. You want to know where your ultimate sickos are. You want to know what they're fucking doing every day. So where some people are going to go, oh, man, they're renting space in your head. No. No, people just have not truly seen people that sick until now.
Yep.
So when you see something that disgusting, you want to make sure you keep your fucking eye on it.
Absolutely.
But there are some people who like will say they don't like Joe Rogan or Howard Stern or even me. People say I don't like the way that guy talks, or I don't like what they talk about, or I don't like their opinions, or they're too outspoken. Tough luck, dummy. I know my rights. Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard to see. I know it's hard to see people happy, people successful, and it's hard to hear truth that may not align exactly within your perspective or your hopes or your dreams. But that's why we all have the ability to turn the channel. That's why even some of the people, even our biggest unfollowers, are some of our biggest fans and really are responsible for sharing our podcast and music and listening to it the most. And to those people, I think that they do qualify as fans, really. But I want to point out, just like with Ariana Grande, just because you can't stand Melissa and you don't like her choice in art, or you don't like what I say on this podcast, you guys can't pray us away, and you guys don't know what we're doing in our personal life. You don't know if Melissa has an eating disorder or not. So anything outside of what we upload to the internet is your fantasy. Everything that people have ever learned about sepsis, we uploaded it.
A lot of people need to keep your fantasies in check. Like, and really understand that that's a fantasy, that's not reality.
The most unattractive shit we've ever said, the most unattractive, ugly music that we've ever played, the worst things that we've ever done, chances are we uploaded it to the internet. Somebody shared one of my podcast clips the other day, like I'd never seen it before. Like, hey, man, did you see this podcast clip? It's like, what the fuck? I made it. Get a grip, y'all. Just because Ariana Grande is skinny or fat or whatever your opinion is about her, it doesn't mean that it's true.
And it doesn't mean that you know her and know her personally and her personal life to dictate or control and even say what she's going through. You have no clue. So it's either you're a fan or you're just talking shit.
Right. You're just making stuff up as you're going along. And
fantasies.
And that's your right.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever
but there's a consequence to you making shit up in fantasies.
There is. Your girlfriend sees that. Your mother sees that. Or maybe nobody sees that. And you just got to live with that fucking layered guilt, man. But just because Melissa or Ariana Grande is skinny and you watch my podcast, it doesn't mean you know Melissa or Ariana Grande's real life diet.
You don't know them personally.
That's all I wanted to share, okay? Just because you watch people on social media or a podcast, or you see Joe Rogan shit his pants, it doesn't mean you know what he's doing when he turns the camera off. That's the point. We don't know why Ariana Grande is taking a break. What do you think about that?
Take a break if you want to, but the public is going to continue to scrutinize whether you're there or you're not.
They're going to fraternize, scrutinize. Oh, this is fucking crazy stuff. So, you know how they have like the Billboard charts? You know? Now they're having AI charts. Yeah. So
of course they are.
Even though it's impossible for real musicians to get on a music chart without giving somebody money. Now they're having an AI chart. So here's for all of those musicians who are so pissed off about AI art and AI music. As mad as you get with all the swearing and all the insulting and all the loud noise, nobody gives a shit. They're going to make AI charts anyways, whether you like it or not.
And some of them are winning in a couple of cases in court. So.
And whether you play guitar, okay, or you are a singer, just like for singers, didn't like auto-tune. People are going to use auto-tune whether you like it or not. And no matter how many rage-baiting comment threads you can generate, it looks to us that people are going to do whatever the fuck they want to do regardless. I'm going to actually, I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick, and Lexi's going to start the article.
Global label organization IFPI has now announced a new set of 3 principles governing the eligibility of recordings developed with generative AI for official music chart rankings. On July 30th, IFPI, the organization representing the recording industry worldwide, announced the rollout of a new set of principles to determine the eligibility of recordings developed with the use of generative AI for inclusion in official music charts. The framework aims to establish a clear boundary between human-led creativity and works that are either purely synthetic or generated by unauthorized AI models. It will also help ensure that tracks with a fraudulently boosted stream count are not recognized in official rankings. Okay, so this is AI going through AI songs. And according to this current paragraph, they help ensure that the streams or the music aren't fraudulently boosted. So it's like...
brings a whole new level of determining fraudulent.
So it's like one could say that AI could be fraudulent, but at the same time, they're looking for fraud.
Oh my goodness. Let's hear what the criteria is.
So, under the new guidelines, a recording developed music using AI will only qualify for chart inclusion if it meets 3 core criteria. So, number 1 is the AI service used is properly authorized and lawful.
That's interesting because they don't even know if using AI is lawful at all. But it's okay. Let's keep going. This is crazy.
Number 2, the track is substantially human-made.
So what I've seen a lot, this is my personal experience. When you put some art or music and you measure it in Google will have a different result than Grok. Grok will have a different result on how much AI has been used in a given piece of art than OpenAI. OpenAI will have a different result determining how much AI has been used in any given piece of music, image, or art also. So when you enter the same piece of art into different AI platforms, the models will have drastically different results. So what I've determined, especially like with our artwork, what I realized is unless you have the original, there's no real way of determining who's providing or presenting an accurate measurement of the original. Because anybody can take a snapshot of an original and then take that duplicate and then modify it in AI, presenting different results. And it goes on and on and on. So unless you have an original piece of art, like the original stems or an original drawing, anything you see online could have already, even if it's a screenshot, could have already been manipulated by AI by the time it gets to your eyes. I can take you could give me an original picture of yourself. I could take that same picture, modify the lighting with AI, and then tell everybody that I have the original picture, and then claim that you're using AI.
It's ridiculous.
And the only way we can get to the bottom of it is if the entire world has the ability to handle and observe the original. Like the Mona Lisa, you'll never know, or the Nefertiti, you'll never know if that's the original. And the only way is if you had the original in your possession and you had the tools and technology to determine. We're fucked.
And even then, they'll probably keep those findings secret and locked up so that no one will even know.
A great example of this is the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
We don't we
don't know what the original is.
And the newest versions of the Bible are not the most complete. There are older versions. When people say, how do you know something is true? They go, well, I have the original. Okay, well, there are older versions of the Bible that exist that are more complete than, let's say, the King James or English version. But yet, the version you find in every hotel and prison is the King James version. It's not the original. If I said to you right now, let me give you a hologram show of Ozzy Osbourne. It's not the original. What's better, the original or the hologram? You tell me.
The original. The
original Ozzy Osbourne. If I said, do you want to be friends with the original William Savant or the William Savant, via AI, what would you rather have?
The original William Savant.
Okay. So when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to art, or when it comes to music, personal taste, Lexi Swarm, would you rather have the original or would you rather have a duplicate or a knockoff?
The original.
All right, we can move on. So I don't know why y'all reading the King James version. I don't get it. Now look, I'm not making fun of anybody. Read my shirt, please. But it's like this. I'm not making fun of anybody that reads the Quran or the Bible. But if I was somebody that was reading those books, I'd probably want the original. Because the farther you get away from the original, the closer that you get to being a remix or a decoy or... You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the same reason people don't like AI, why they don't like it. Why don't people like AI, everybody? Let's talk about all the reasons in the comments. They think that it's stealing. People think that AI is stealing other people's ideas and intellectual property. They think that it's stealing other people's original ideas and then claiming them as their own. That's the King James version of the Bible. For an example. So if I was a person that read religious books, I would be very upset with anybody who didn't provide me with the original. I really would. Thoughts, Lex?
No, I agree. Originality is more valuable than the AI, especially if you're using AI to document and do AI charts with AI songs, and then try to see if there's human-made things in an AI song on an AI chart. It's just a mess.
And how do you know it's the original? There was my other thing.
You don't.
How do you know somebody has?
You don't. You don't.
So we can't swear by it.
And neither does AI. So AI can't make an AI chart and have anyone give a fuck because it's AI. And there's no way for AI, as well as a human, to know if something's human generated. Because AI has been making mistakes. AI has been firing people that have no reason to be fired.
Okay. And
so how can we trust AI to do an AI chart if AI is already fucked up doing charts and predictables and hiring and firing?
If the Bible is perfect, why do you need somebody to come and remix it?
You don't.
If God already said all of these things,
then why do you have a different version?
And God is the originator, and God said all of these original things, then why is there a necessary need for a person to delete the original things?
There isn't.
Why?
There isn't a reason.
There's no reason. If somebody,
you just want to make money. King James just wants to make money. And you guys don't even know who King James even is.
They don't care.
And they're going to read his Bible.
They don't care.
Right.
That's
my point.
They don't care.
Right. That's my point. Guys are just going to be blind about everything.
The same people that are mad, about people using AI are the same people that are driving fuel-guzzling, environment-harming vehicles. Those are the same people who are using social media that harms and has been proven scientifically to be self-destructive to children. We're on Facebook right now. Look at us. Ooh, look at us. And then we're going to get in the car and then we're going to drive around and we're going to blow fucking fumes and fuel all over the grass and flowers. Do you know what they call that? Hypocrites.
Mm-hmm.
There's two kinds of hypocrites. There's people that know they're hypocrites and know that, and then there's the other people who don't know that they're hypocrites. Okay? But here's who you don't want to be. You don't want to be the person giving away the show, and you don't want to be the person who doesn't know that you're in one. Those are the two motherfuckers you don't want to be in this world. And that's why we have this show, y'all. Oh, God. Here's another silly thing. Here's another silly one. All right. James Hetfield. Ugh. James Hetfield's ex-wife says his full addictions were never spoken about publicly. What do you think about that? Even before we get into it.
Why do you want to bring up, now that you guys are divorced, and I don't want to sound like a couple expert. I don't know anything about the relationship.
Oh, do your thing. This is all for fun.
But I know a little bit about, not a little bit. I don't know nothing about divorce.
You want to know why?
But
well, we'll leave that for another time.
But
that may be a good thing.
You're now the ex-wife, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And he has since, to our knowledge of the public, no longer, he's in recovery, man. And now that you guys are divorced, now you want to come out here and be like, his addictions were never talked about publicly. It seems to me like now I know why you guys got divorced.
Yeah, because you're a big mouth. Yeah, you're a snitch. You're a big mouth and a snitch. Ain't nobody want to be with no big mouth snitch.
This person hasn't even, to our knowledge, we don't fucking know, but to our knowledge, he hasn't touched any of these things in fucking years.
Yeah, and the whole world.
And here you are just bringing it back up again after your divorce?
Right, and you want us to live in a reality.
And you want us to be stuck 15 years ago? I don't think
in a reality where what you say is true.
Right, because you're his ex-wife. Honey.
Right.
Honey.
So James Hetfield and his ex-wife says his addictions were never fully discussed, responding to fans after his recent engagement.
He gets engaged and she's going to talk about this guy's personal life from 15 years ago? What the fuck? Ladies, what's going into y'all?
I feel like you...
sounds like some regret, some grudge shit. I don't even know.
It also feels like you're spending too much time on social media.
Yeah. You want attention. You want to bring him down.
There's no way. 2026, 27. There's no way.
Again, I'm not a relationship expert, but I know absolutely nothing, but
Right. There is no way that he's thinking about you, honey.
And we really think that's what got you to come out of the house like this.
Golly. Man, sometimes you got to let it go.
Stay in the house.
Recent news of Metallica's frontman James Hetfield's engagement to Adriana Galette has sparked a wave of reactions online, including candid comments from his ex-wife, Francesca. Well, I mean,
ladies,
you used to date James Hetfield. Now you're out. I mean,
right. Adriana's in, bitch.
Give me blue, give me five, give me that one side to side. Oh, yeah. Boom, digga, boom, 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 digga, boom, boom, well. Boom, give me a gung, 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 fling, give me a gung, go well. Y'all better get it.
She's just mad that she's not with James no more.
Yeah.
She wants that rock and roll voice in the bedroom.
Yo, she get lay beside me.
Oh,
Tell me what I've done.
She wants to get serenaded with that acoustic
Your legs
guitar.
Crack open to make my feelings run.
Oh, yeah, that's running, honey. She misses that.
Yeah, there's no sun shining through.
Ain't no more sun shining for you.
Right, what he's felt and what he's known.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the unforgiven.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, we've had a lot of fun with this. But let's just read this one quote. This is her thoughts. Quote, "Wow, what a shock to find out through social media instead of getting a heads up. I see the FU is still happening." Wait.
Wait, whoa.
Oh.
Who said that your ex-husband has to tell you that he's getting remarried?
We're not doing that.
In what?
I no longer have the need.
Again, I know nothing about divorce,
then,
but I don't know any person that got remarried and has to give their ex-wife a heads up.
I'm saddened. I'm heartbroken that he gave up his family to future surround himself with enablers. You don't know what he's doing in his private time. But she later added in a separate comment, "I no longer have the need to protect him. Just my kids." Like, I don't know. That's insinuating that he's beating your children. And then, like, how old are her kids? 25? I don't know.
I mean, one of them is old enough to have his own band, so.
So, what I'm going to say is, we got to move on.
This lady's crazy.
I can understand if there was some terrible thing happening, but can I be real with you? I mean, when we were all teenagers or in our 20s, we have all licked, sniffed, fucked, or laid with something we shouldn't have. Some of us drank a little something we shouldn't have. Some of us sniffed a little something we shouldn't have. When we were all in a... Don't look at me like that, y'all, because you know I'm talking to you. This is something people need to understand. At least in local, regional, New England rock and roll. Every one of us, if you're still in rock and roll, if you're still playing in a band, over 25, over 30, into your 40s, some of you guys are in bands, 40s and 50s. If you're still playing in a band and you're my age, locally, and you're still playing on stage in a local, regional, small band, if you're still doing that and you've lasted and survived the test of time, if you haven't been canceled, thrown in prison, shot, or dragged for being a sex offender, then chances are you're a decent dude. You're a little rough around the edges, but you haven't stolen anything. You don't owe anybody a substantial amount of money. Okay? And you probably don't beat the shit out of your kids. You probably don't have any sexual assaults. And you probably haven't been arrested for something heinous in the last 10 years. That's you. Everybody that's in a band and still playing in a band over the age of 25 in New England, everybody has a past. Everybody has sniffed something, drank something that they shouldn't have. Everybody's screwed up a friendship. Everybody's had a divorce or two. Some of us have student loans, mortgage loans, or debt. But chances are, if you survived 25, 30, or you're 40 years old and you're still in a local rock and roll band in New England, don't go around trying to expose people and running your fucking mouth about people's pasts. Because people that have been around in the New England scene for as long as I have, chances are if you've survived this long, it's because you have a past too. And it's probably not so bad. But we all have a past. You know? And the difference between me and a lot of people that have a past in New England is I've done my fucking time. I paid my dues. I made my amends. I've completed my sentence. I've completed my parole. I've completed my probation, which puts me in a position to take the most fucked up shit that has happened to me in my life. Every story, every twist and turn, every ugly part of my life, I've been given the opportunity and a second chance to share my story with people as a story of growth and recovery, amendments, forgiveness, community service, and charity. And I continue to be a work in progress. So if you've had a past, don't jump on anybody else's past. Instead, use the opportunity to turn your past into a story of growth. Use your survival, the things that have happened in your past and the things that you've survived. Now it's your turn to use those ugly things that have happened to you. It's your turn to use those stories as an avenue and bridge for growth for other people. Or don't listen to me. I mean, what do you want? You don't gotta do what I'm telling you to do. I don't know what's gonna happen because of that. I don't think anything. I mean, James Hetfield, I guess maybe he was a drinker. I guess, right? He used to drink. But who hasn't had a drink? Who hasn't had an addiction or a behavior that they wanted to get rid of at one point or another? You know. Here we go. Oh my goodness! I realize we'll try to hurry up a little bit. So we can get ready for Matt Connarton. Merlin signs Spotify licensing deal for AI-powered fan-made covers and remixes. So they're letting people do it. So for all of those people out there that are so angry at individuals for using AI art and AI music, why don't you stop getting at those people and why don't you go after the record labels and Spotify?
Save the energy for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're so mad about people using AI, how come people aren't protesting Spotify or Google? For all the people that are mad about AI, they sit on Facebook, which is mostly AI. People that are truly upset about AI spend their time on an AI company like Facebook complaining about it. So my thing is this: I'm not for or against anything. I'm still developing the details. But for all of you people out there that are determined not to like AI, and that's completely up to you, I always wonder, why do you upload your music to Spotify then? People jump on me or Melissa for talking about AI or engaging in it. But for the lack of people that are available to have a conversation about it, we always make ourselves available. So once again, for all of you people out there that really hate AI, the same people will upload pictures to Facebook and music to Spotify. That's like hating fuel companies and then jumping in your car.
Same thing.
Lexi?
Spotify has signed a licensing agreement with Merlin, the digital licensing partner for independent labels and distributors, for its upcoming fan-made covers and remixing tool. The tool will let fans create covers and remixes of songs from participating Merlin members, artists, and songwriters. It will launch as a paid add-on for Spotify premium users, and according to the company, will create an additional revenue stream for participating artists. So in order to use it, you have to be a Spotify premium member.
Wow.
Universal Music Group struck the first deal for the tool with Spotify in May. Spotify and UNMG describe the tool as powered by generative AI technology. The Merlin agreement, announced on Tuesday, August 4th, extends it to the independent sector. According to a press release, it gives artists on labels under Merlin's Spotify agreement the option to participate in the initiative. Tuesday's announcement arrives on the same day Spotify reported its Q2 2026 earnings. And according to the platform, it said it reached 300 million premium subscribers in the quarter, crossing that threshold for the first time.
And I just want to say, it's amazing how much neighbors and fellow musicians attack each other in comment threads about AI in general, when the people that are responsible for it are people like Universal Music Group and bands, rappers, musicians all claim they want to be a part of large groups like Sony, Universal Music Group, and Spotify. And then they'll attack their fellow musicians in an AI Facebook comment section about using AI. That is a strange relay of events. It's truly interesting to me on some like people watching shit. People go head over fucking heels, ass over elbows if we released an AI song, for instance, okay? Or if we came out with AI art, people would fill the fucking comment section on an AI platform like Facebook, telling us how terrible we are for using AI. They'll be telling us this on an AI platform like Facebook. And then they'll upload their music to AI Spotify, hoping that they can be a part and get signed by a record label like AI Universal Music Group. That is bananas to me.
It's also the same argument that people have when they talk about Fauci. Like, all last week, people were talking about Fauci, and they didn't do a single goddamn thing about who our current president is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, okay,
it's the same thing.
Yes, we have criminal scientists. Yes, we have law-breaking senators. But what's
worst person?
What's all that chatter when you have a sex offender in power? I get what you're saying.
It's also the same people that are like, oh my God, AI, whatever, that is going to hop on Avenged Sevenfold's page and blast them about their new Statica song or album.
Right.
And it's the same people that are using it. It's the same people that use it to go to ChatGPT to see what kind of water to use for their aloe vera plant. Like,
it's the equivalent of calling somebody a cheater for using ChatGPT to make an album cover, those same people are using it to get an advantage in their schoolwork or at their job.
Listen, if you guys are really about these things the way that you guys say that you are in black and white in a comment section to your fellow musicians, activists, creators on social media, and you're uploading yourself to those platforms that are in question, that are being the hot topic of the day, and you're still uploading it to it, you're not really being the change. You're not really about it yourself.
Right.
You're half in, you're half out. You're a moderate, and no one likes people like that. In the grand scheme of life, you're the people that are going to continue to guard dog your favorite brand, like you guard dog your favorite AI freaking service or your favorite streaming service. If you guys are really about these things that you guys say that you guys are, or the message that you guys want to present to the world, that your band's about this or you're an artist and you're about that, then my biggest recommendation as respect to you is, one, to not harp on someone else that's doing it, and two, you don't post on Spotify and these places either if you're really about that.
Right. I think that's like, it's like saying, I could show you better than I could tell you. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, Lexi Swarm. You want this one?
Yeah. I keep sliding. It's like a slip and slide over here. Nikki Sixx explains real reason Motley Crue using backing tracks with one honest statement. Okay.
What's up, guys? How do you guys feel about backtracks now? We haven't done a story about backtracks in quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Every time I hear Motley Crue, I always think of the Girls, Girls, Girls song.
Well, I think they wanted you to feel that way.
Heck yeah. Here we go. Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx addressed the topic of the band's use of backing tracks. Here we go. What do you have to say about it? During the session, fans directly questioned Sixx about the band's live performance practices. One fan asked, "Why do y'all use backing tracks?" Here we go with Sixx's straightforward explanation. He goes, "Since we saw Queen using some help during the song Bohemian Rhapsody live, we understood that we could bring in elements that we could not do live, like orchestras, saxophones, etc., and sync them up with what we are playing and what we do. Play 100% live," Sixx says, "and it's better for the fans, and we enjoy being able to do what we did in the studio live. It's a win-win."
All right. That's how a lot of bands that use backtracks feel about backtracks. I think that's been pretty standard for bands that do use backtracks. They say normally that they use the backtracks for orchestras and backup vocals, transients, and different effects, risers.
Yeah, it's a good tool to use if you don't have those things, that's for sure.
I have also heard that there are some people don't like it because they think that it's stealing. Like AI. They think that the use of backtracks, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't care one way or another. And I'll give you my bit on it. But some people claim that using backtracks is stealing from the audience because the audience buys tickets with the understanding, predicting that the musicians will be playing human-generated music on stage. Thoughts about that?
Honestly, it makes sense to use backing tracks. It makes sense to use the gear that's available to do the things that you want to do and bring to the stage.
Would you be upset if you went to go see Snow the Product and she wasn't really singing? Let me do another one. Let's say that you weren't in Sepsiss, okay? And then you came into a Sepsiss show and my guitar parts were doubled on backtracks and there was a lot of backup vocals and keys on backtracks. Would you be happy with Sepsiss doing that? We don't use backtracks, which is why we have so many damn people in the fucking band. But that doesn't mean that I don't like backtracks, and it certainly doesn't mean that I'm against it. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm saying, everybody in the chat right now, yes or no, do you want Sepsiss to use backtracks, or do you want us to stay being human-generated music on stage no matter what? This means when we don't have a bass player, looks like we'll play without the bass. This means if we don't have a keyboard player, as you guys know, in the past, if we don't have certain members, we just play without them. Okay? So you might not get the big layered Sepsiss that you've come to know, Lexi. You might get a trio. But you've heard us as a trio. You've heard us acoustic. Like, let's say everybody died in a bus accident and quit the band, except for me and Melissa. We would do guitar and acoustic duo. That's just the nature of the band. If everybody died in a fiery plane accident and there were only three of us, we do a hand drum, an acoustic, and a singer, you know?
Yeah.
Be pretty cool to have an orchestra, though, wouldn't it?
It would be cool to have an orchestra.
Which is why I understand the backtrack stuff. And here's my 2 cents. Every band that I have heard with a backtrack, I would not want to hear it another way. Like, I've heard a lot of bands use backtracks, and I love it. Mm-hmm. I love when they do. But that's me. It doesn't bother me.
No.
But some people are like, oh, they're not screaming that whole thing, and they're not singing that whole part there. They're getting a lot of help from the backtrack. I don't give a shit. I
wouldn't give a shit if any of my favorite artists or not favorite artists use backing tracks, because it's up to them. It's not really up to me.
Yeah.
I'm the one paying to go see them. So whatever they have to bring to the table,
that's the risk.
Bring it, honey.
That's the risk. Me as the fan, I take the risk when I buy the ticket. So I buy tickets. When I buy a ticket to a band, that's my level of support. Like, I'm doing it with the level of whatever they got going on.
They show up 15 minutes late. That's part of the risk.
That's right. That's part of the risk of me buying the ticket. I know that everybody doesn't feel that way.
If they use auto-tune and lip sync, that's part of the risk of going to see them.
Right.
I'm not going to care.
Right. And let's say that I have all type of personal and intimate feelings involved with it. Then I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I need to detach.
Yeah.
I don't know these fucking people.
Take a minute.
I don't know these fucking people personally.
Honestly, and also, like, I'm talking as a musician. I'm not going to tell another musician how to present themselves on a stage.
Yes, and I'm not going to
I'm not going to tell you how to do backtracks. I'm not going to tell you how to do auto-tune.
Nope, and I'm not going to
I might have had some really crazy things to say back when I had the Metal Honeys, but now that I have a little bit more experience and now that I play an actual instrument in a band, now I'm just like, well, let me amend those things. I really don't care what another musician has to do.
I don't give a shit. We don't have time.
If it's what you want to do, hey, go ahead, do it. I'm not going to stop you.
You've invested your whole life. You bought the gear. You drove yourself here. I don't care what another band is doing.
I'm not going to control you.
We're too far busy as Sepsiss to really care what other bands, how many strings they have on the guitars, whether they have backtracks or not, who's fucking who, whether they are using AI art, which you had for dinner, who's a vegan, what you're praying to.
Sometimes opinions about things don't really matter, especially with this one.
Just the
I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Just the same as I'm not going to be held hostage by trying to walk on eggshells for other musicians and make sure that they're happy with what I'm doing. I'm also not doing that with the fans. I'm not when I write a song or when we sit down and make decisions for Sepsiss, I'm not going, what are the fan standards and what's the principles and what are the ethics and what are that? To me, that's just an art killer.
So you're just using the fans as a distraction from you actually having the communication with your band and what you and your band actually want and see for yourselves. You're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah,
really.
just write the art.
You won't have a conversation.
If you love it, put it in the lyrics. If you got the nuts. If you hate it, put it in the lyrics. If you got the guts. If you can put a sheet on your head and run around, a burning cross on the weekend, to me, you should be able to do it Monday morning when you clock into work. Huh? Fuck is you talking about? Getting all squeamish. Let me tell you something about our band. There's nothing that we won't say in our lyrics that we won't say to your face. There's nothing that we won't say in the comment section that we won't say right to your face.
We're gonna say it Monday morning when we clock in.
Right. And we want to know why? Because we can't be fired, we can't be divorced, and you can't pray Sepsiss away.
Bow, bow, bow.
Bow.
Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah, that's it.
Everybody, Connarton.
That's it. That'll be enough of that. All right. Mick Thompson's wife. There's a lot of. This is getting crazy.
All your wives need to go to the Bahamas or something.
Go to the bathroom. You're not even in the band.
Go to the bathroom. Go to the living room.
Right.
Go watch a soap opera.
Take a minute. Give it a minute and take a fucking minute.
Why are the wives coming out so opinionated?
and I'm having fun with this, but I don't care what Mick Thompson's wife has to say.
I don't even know you.
Right. Jessica.
Do you even go here?
Mick Thompson's wife shares a cryptic message about Sid Wilson's firing from Slipknot.
Oh, his wife's gonna drop the T? Oh my god.
Hard rock.
What the fuck?
The closer you get to popular professional hard rock and metal, the more you get to rumor mills, snitching, tattletaling, and everybody exposing each other. This is some shit that I'm not from.
The cat claws are coming out.
The deeper you get into hard rock and heavy metal, the more it is about rumor mills, telling on each other, trying to humiliate each other, and the bromances and the manosphere, and it's fucking crazy posturing.
That's some lunatic shit.
I never knew, when I got into playing guitar, I never knew that it was a bunch of young dudes bumping chests and posturing and saying
I'm the fucking man,
sexist and racist slurs and shit. Metal is in trouble, y'all. That's for damn sure, if it ever was. It's all tabloids, tattletaling, seemingly everybody being in everybody's business. That's the scene.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real scene. And you know that because all the local guys and regional guys, they all copy this toxic behavior. Yeah. All parasocial, pretending like everybody knows each other, pretending everybody knows personal or secret details, pretending that we're all in proximity with each other personally.
Weird.
It's all performing. Popularity contests, cyber bullies, bully breeds. Slipknot co-guitarist Mick Thompson's wife, Stacy, has responded to reports of DJ Sid Wilson's firing from the band. She shared a cryptic message on Instagram that appeared to cast doubt on the circulating story.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. And, I'm just reading this, but I can't tell you, how fucking boring this would be, without us making noise. We don't really care about this. We just pull up these articles so we can make funny noises and tell people we don't care. But there's no point in any of this shit. This isn't good for rock and roll. This doesn't make you more of a Slipknot fan. This doesn't help us in any way. The scene's not growing. It just makes heavy metal and rock and roll look petty, pathetic, and it makes it look like it's a tabloid. Sad. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this portion of the show, because up next, Lex, you got to get up.
Oh, I'm up.
Okay, you know what time it is? Up next,
Matt Connarton.
it's time for our interview with the one, the only, Mr. Matt Connarton from WMNH 95.3. Everybody, welcome Matt Connarton. I'm so excited for this interview. Me and Lexi have been waiting for this all day.
Oh, yeah.
Without further ado, we're really big fans of the show. And I think it's crazy because normally we are in opposite roles.
Yeah.
But without further ado, the host of WMNH's Matt Connarton Unleashed. Everybody, Matt Connarton.
Oh, shucks. Thank you.
And I was saying briefly before we got started that this isn't urgent or anything, but we have so many questions for you. I know we'll be talking about Swarmy Fest later on. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, because we are actually real fans of your show.
Thank you.
You have the coolest time slot, I think, in New England. Saturday mornings, all the bands are getting ready, plugging in their amplifiers.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. The whole time.
And like I've for years now, there's no show. I don't know if they're outside of New England, but there is no show like yours that I've heard that's so like old fashioned, where people can wake up in the morning and call in, and it's interactive. It's so old school, and I feel so lucky to have 95.3 and WMNH and you as a radio show host, but everything, your past, your present, your future. I just think you got the coolest thing going on, and I think what you do is a big mosaic and a recipe to what makes New England so fucking cool to be a band here. Your show. I just want to say thank you so much for doing it, and
thank you.
Congratulations for lasting the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah, no, thank you very much. I appreciate all that. Thank you so much. And by the way, not to interrupt, but I should say I'm a big fan of yours as well. As you know, Jenny and I are big fans of Sepsiss. So.
It's kind of weird because we have so much in common. Making people upset. We have a lot of trolls. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll compare notes later. But another thing that you and Jenny are a brand, man. Like, you guys are a brand, and like Matt Connarton Unleashed is such a layered onion of just like talented. You're so fucking smart. You got a great voice for radio. How, just so everyone, how do we break you down, man? Like, what, like, are you, who are we talking to today? Are we talking to Matt Connarton, the radio show host? Are we talking about Matt and Jenny, the brand? Are we talking about activism or tough bumps? Or, like, are you going to fucking hypnotize us today on the show? Do you have many layers? Another thing that we have in common with you is you have a lot of layers to you, man. Like, you have big history. You were in a band before. You do this music program. I know. Matt Connarton Unleashed is your baby, your pride, your priority, or what people know. What I would know from you. But I want everybody to know who you are as an onion, as a layer. Can you break Matt Connarton down and tell us everything about you? That's crazy. Tell us everything about you. No.
I do have a lot of different, sometimes I wonder if I would have been a lot more successful than I am at this point in my life if I'd kind of focused on one thing. But you mentioned I have a lot of different things going on, and I've always kind of been that way. I do the radio show, I run IPM Nation, I have a hypnotherapy practice, I do this, I do that. Sometimes I think if I had not paid any attention to the music industry, for example, and just focused on my hypnotherapy practice, maybe I'd be running this enormous, hypnotherapy practice
You'd
right
have
now.
More money.
Yeah, I'd have more money. Yes.
Right. Yes. I'm always telling people, wait a minute, you're in local music. Oh, okay.
Right.
No. So you're a lot like us. You're still doing things for the love of doing it. It seems like you care about a lot. I think if you care about a lot, it's hard to just be driven on one thing, right?
I think so. And, my dad kind of, he passed away not too long ago, but something about my dad that I always really admired is right to the end, no matter how old he got, and he was almost 80 when he passed away, but he was very passionate about music and not like you would never catch my dad listening to oldies. He was always interested in music that was current. He lived on the seacoast, so he loved WUNH. Because he loved college radio until the day he died. He loved college radio because he liked hearing new artists. He liked hearing new music. And he used to tell me, he said, Matt, we're in a golden age of music right now because there's so much of it, because of the internet. You have access to so much music. And so it like, I kind of model myself after him in the sense that no matter how old he got, he still cared. He still was so deeply passionate about music. Unlike most people who get stuck, by the time they're 30, they go, oh, I've heard all the music I ever need to hear now. But my dad, the things he cared passionately about, he cared about until the day that he died. So I try to, because I see a lot of people, I'm a Gen Xer, I'm a middle-aged man, and I see a lot of people in my generation who, at a certain point, they kind of start to, I don't know, settle in, settle down. This is it.
Discovery is not a necessity for survival anymore. You don't need to survive on what your friends think and your peer groups, and it doesn't feel like you're going to die if you don't fit in. So just like, what you listen to and how you dress and what your hair looks like is important when you're a fucking kid. Yeah. But so the motivation for discovery and the appetite for discovery feels like it's life and death. Yeah. If you're not listening to the artists that your friends are, you're not in the circle.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I think hopefully I'm going to end up like my dad in that sense, and that hopefully until the day I die, I'm still passionate about music.
You were really close with your dad. Did he listen to your program?
So, that's a very interesting and complicated question. Okay. Because my dad was a huge fan of the music component. Actually, my dad was a big fan of Sepsiss. I don't know if you realize that.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember if this has ever come up on the show when we've had you on my show, but yeah, my dad was a big fan. He never got to see it live or anything, but he was very much a fan. I remember we would talk about, because my personal favorite Sepsiss song is Eyes of Empathy, and I remember talking to my dad about it, and he's like, yeah, that's my favorite too, and I'm like, wait, what, really? So yeah, he was really into you. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. But my dad was always very encouraging and very enthusiastic about that aspect of what I do. Because he loved new music. So he loved that I was doing that. Where it gets complicated is when my show was on weekday afternoons, when I was an afternoon drive, there was also a heavy political component to the show. Yeah. Like very often, typical show might do politics. Because I was weekday afternoons 4 to 6. So the first hour might be politics, the second hour, the musical guest, kind of like that. The politics part became a problem for my dad and I. Okay. Because he got, and this is disappointing to say, but I talk about him, the good and the bad. He got to be pretty MAGA over the last decade or so of his life, inexplicably, because growing up he was always a liberal, which is how I turned out the way I'm the woke liberal that I am today because of my dad. But then he turned into this other dude. Like a lot of people, that's happened in a lot of families, though. You hear people all the time, oh, my parents, they got fucking weird. I don't know what happened to them, but they're not the same people they used to be.
Principles shift in like your taste buds. People's lens, and depending on what we're consuming and like our health and it's, I can understand how many families are challenged in not being torn apart over conversations that have to measure human decency. That's tough, man.
Yeah,
that's tough. Yeah. But and I'm sorry about your loss. But you seem like a big fan of him too, and he seems like a big fan of you too.
Well, so much of who I am is a direct result of him. My passion for music is very much a direct directly came from him, and that continuing passion. No matter how old I get, I still want to hear new stuff. I still want to explore new music and help promote new music. My passion for politics came from him too. Ironically enough, it's just that you
flawless guys still loved each other though.
Yeah, of course. Yes. But when I was a kid, he was a Democrat. Yeah. And his best friend was a Republican. Yeah. And he and his best friend would have all these conversations, and I would sit there and just listen. And I became fascinated by it. And of course, my dad was a Democrat, so that's, I grew up with, a lot of those same values and all of that, and then he eventually shifted. But that came from him too. My passion for both music and politics really came from growing up with my dad.
Well, you can't really have the music industry. You can have music like vibration and the way that Native Americans or Aborigines or indigenous people or people in the past may have celebrated music for its spiritual or vibrational or healing qualities or storytelling. But to have the capitalist institution of the music industry, you really do need politics. You need to understand the language of the law. Because of legislation and the laws that determine measuring the details of free speech and of course advertising and marketing and selling things. Those are all very, very political ideas. And it's funny when we talk to a lot of musicians, they'll say, keep politics out of music, or it'd be nice if musicians just didn't talk about politics at all. And it's like, wow, a lot of musicians, I don't think they realize their appetite for wanting to be in the music business or the music industry really has a lot to do with accounting and banking and the policies and the politics that are baked into capitalism and buying and selling and ROI and IPOs and so they like to keep in a world of metrics and demographics, people want to keep these things separate at the same time. I'm gonna let Lexi fire away because she wrote down some questions for you. I know she wants to.
All right.
So you mentioned being in a band and a bass player.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more of your experience.
Yeah, we wanted to get nosy because we've been thinking about this for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So I've played in a bunch of bands, and I am a bass player. I'm not particularly flashy. I'm very, very. It's funny because
you should have been filling in for us all season. I didn't realize this. Now I wouldn't have nailed you down, but geez, a couple of gigs at least, right?
Yeah, it's been a while for me, that's for sure. It's been a long time since I haven't picked up my bass. But yeah, I played in a bunch of bands. Again, nothing flashy. I don't know if you know Aaron Bilodeau, but he's like one of the best bass players I know. And he was on my show recently. He does a solo thing where he just plays his bass with some backing tracks.
Gotta be good if you're a bass soloist.
Oh, yeah. And I just watch his fingers the whole time because but I could never do, I could, but I'd have to really dedicate myself. I could never do what he does, but I played in a bunch of different bands. I played in a kind of a punk band. I played in a couple metal bands. I played in a band called Project Hybrid, which was like this sort of a hip hop project, but very sort of experimental. And I played bass in that. We did a lot of improvising. Chemical Distance, which was a really weird project.
You have to have a lot of room for variety in your library if you're going to host a music show.
Oh, yeah.
I think people think a lot of times that we're being generic when we're like, oh, we love to support local musicians because it sounds really good in a Facebook post. Everybody would support local. But like for us, it's no gimmick. We really do, and we even like horrible music. Like we love like unmixed music or like demos.
I do too, actually.
We actually really like it. We're big fans of like underground rap and like music from the city and from all over the world. Yeah, not just popular stuff. So when
underground rap is
local, we really mean that shit, man. We really have fun with the discovery.
Underground rap is the best rap.
How did you get involved with 95.3 and like what's the relationship? I'm just curious.
So that came about because so the show Matt Connarton Unleashed actually started it originally as a podcast in the summer of 2011.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah, it goes yeah, it's been a while.
Shit. That's mind blowing.
Yeah,
because most people can't do anything for 11 minutes. Let alone 10 years, 11 years.
Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But so you may or may not know this, but WMNH is owned by Manchester Public Television. Oh. And I had been involved in some of the local television programming at Manchester Public Television for a long time. So I kind of already knew the people. So when WMNH got up and running, which was it was either 2015 or 2016, when it finally got on the air, because it's owned by Manchester Public Television, I already knew some of the people involved. So, they got the first couple of shows launched, and then they offered me the opportunity to bring, because I was also doing a TV version on local Channel 23 here at the time it was Channel 23 here in Manchester of my show, in addition to the podcast. Fun. Yeah. So then they offered me the opportunity to bring the show to radio and put me in Afternoon Drive weekdays 4 to 6. The caveat being I had to give up the TV show. Gotcha. They didn't want me doing both because they wanted a clear delineation. But yeah, Afternoon Drive, hell yeah. But that's how that came about in April of 2017. That's when the podcast became a radio show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, just quick. Where can everybody? I've realized I've really slutted out now, but I watch. I watch you on Facebook. I don't even like admitting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just so easy. We get up and we do our coffee and Matt Connarton. You get the Facebook going. We're on our way to the show. What are all the places people can find you though? Just so we know, and we got that covered.
Easiest thing to do if you just go to my website, mattconnerton.com. Yep. And if you go to the Unleashed page or go to the radio and podcasts page, that's the easiest way. All the links are there. Obviously, if you're local in Manchester, New Hampshire and surrounding areas, you can hear us. You can hear the show at 95.3 FM. But
that's so cool, man.
Everywhere else, you can
being a Manchester band, and they're just being anything like that. There being an existing radio station that plays local bands in our own town. It's just such a cool thing to be alive and have that still happening at the same time as all of this other stuff is happening.
Yeah, it's become a rare thing.
I wanted to ask you, with your activism, of course, like your personal lives, everything you and Jen got going on. Is that hard to organize? Is that hard to separate? Is it hard to keep the shows and what she's got going on? She's got a lot of powerful things going on. I almost asked both of y'all to come on. Maybe that's something we could do in the future.
You should. Well, what I would suggest is having her on separately because she's got a lot going on too. I'm very proud of her.
Yeah,
she's doing so much great work.
I follow her on Substack now.
Oh, good. Yeah, she's kind of stepped away from the show, from Matt Connarton Unleashed, just because. I mean, you might see her, you see her, hear her on a random Saturday morning with me, but
for sure.
But she's got so much going on with all the activism. I'll plug her website, jencoffee.com.
Please, I love what she's got going on. The girls love it too.
Yeah.
And,
I love her work.
Yeah.
Huge fan of her work. I love what she's doing.
That's
she's such a huge inspiration.
That's why I asked. You guys are both kicking ass, on different fronts, but you're very much part of the same organism. And I was just wondering if that's hard to organize. Because we do the podcast, and me and Lexi have a little bit of a flair and appetite for some activism and sharing stories, but that's we don't speak for all of the band members, and the podcast, in my opinion, isn't all the band members' opinion, and all of that. But I just was wondering how you organize that.
Life is very busy, but I mean, but the things that we're doing at this point, because again, she's kind of stepped away from the show itself, so we're each kind of organizing our own worlds which exist together but also separate, if that makes sense. Do you ever get in trouble?
It's hard to tell. We were looking the other day and I was like, if there's any other podcasts in New England or conversation spaces that get a lot of troublemakers that might rival Sepsiss, I said the only people that could rival us that have real life kinetic physical trolls might be Matt Connarton. I think we got you beat digitally, but in the past, I've seen some of your feuds are a little bit more kinetic than ours have been. But it's tough to say. How do you ever get in trouble for being? People are always asking us, do we get in trouble for being outspoken? Mm-hmm. And is it worth it? And I'm always reminding people, we would never do what we're doing if it wasn't worth it. We weren't having a blast with it. But how do you feel? Everybody's different.
Well, in terms of getting in trouble for being outspoken, as you know, because as I referred to, I used to do afternoon drive at WMNH weekdays 4 to 6 with a heavy political component, and then a couple of years ago, I became a Saturday morning host with no politics. Oh, so yes, you can. There can be repercussions. Mm-hmm. So now that's why you never hear any. You might hear dribs and drabs if something comes up during a conversation on my show as I'm interviewing a musical guest, but you don't hear overtly politics on my show anymore, and that's why anything like that I want to do, we'll do it on a separate podcast version of the show. But on WMNH, there is without going into details, there is a reason that I used to be an afternoon drive host, and then I went to weekends. It all worked out for the best, in a lot of ways.
Yep.
But there is a reason that happened. Yes.
Sometimes everything needs to be in its proper place for its time, in its inventory.
And I trust the universe with it.
No, wow, that's so well. Thank you for saying that. Very well.
Something I'm learning to do.
It's very hard to let things go.
It is.
We're glad that you shifted towards the focus of music. What is some of the most important things that you've learned from interviewing musicians?
I just everybody's so different. I love learning what someone's creative process is. I'm kind of a nerd that way.
Yeah.
That's why I'll ask questions like, who writes the songs in your band? How do you write them? Who comes up with the ideas? Who comes up with the riffs? Who comes up with the lyrics, etc. I love learning about
a lot of band fights. When people leave, they must go back to their band rooms and have to sort that out.
I hope so. That's fun to think about. But yeah, I love talking, and not just musicians too. I mean, we've had actors and comedians and authors and other creative people on the show too. But it's a very obviously very heavily focused on music. But I just love talking to creative people about how they create, what drives them to create. I also love talking to older artists. Like, I don't know if you know John Poussette Dart. Kind of a bit of a legend, the Poussette Dart Band from the 70s. But whenever he's playing in Manchester, we have him on the show because he's still releasing, he's in his 70s, but he's still releasing new music. And I love talking to him.
That's how I want to be.
Cool. Yeah.
Like when you determine success, of course there are those little other trophies and and symbols of success and mementos and milestones. But if you're the big goal, one of our big goals is to continue to do it. Some guys like that are that's my fucking hero.
Yeah.
I need to tap in.
Yeah. So even people who've been doing it for decades, what I want to know what keeps them going. And he likes it because I can tell, because he's coming on my show, and instead of me sitting there asking him questions about the Poussette Dart Band and everything he did when he was in his 20s, I'm like, tell me about the music you're making now. Which most interviewers won't do that. They want to hear the old stories and whatnot. I want to know about what you're doing now.
You're not generic. No, you don't do all. I've heard you pepper some of those things in, but you don't have generic interviews at all.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you saying that.
I really love that about your show.
Thank you. I try to do something different.
When Matt Connarton Unleashed or any of your radio shows, would you guys ever do your own music festival or event or something with the people that you brought onto the show?
That's interesting.
We've never really tried to organize something like that. I think that's why we like, we like being a part of something like Swarmy Fest, because inevitably, Swarmy Fest has a lineup where it's either, some of the bands have been on the show, some of the bands will be on the show in the future, some of the bands might be on the show that weekend.
We're really putting in that discovery thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
We're really trying to motivate people towards. That's why we always have the new bands.
Hell yeah.
Each year.
Absolutely. But we've never, I used to do a lot of promotion, but before I even started Matt Connarton Unleashed with IPM Nation, I used to promote a lot of shows. It's a lot, I don't have to tell you, with Swarmy Fest, It's a lot of work.
It really is. I'm glad somebody else said it.
Oh, hell yeah. It's a lot of work.
It is. No, it is.
It is.
I've got to get into this because I don't want to run out of time before we touch on it.
Yeah.
But one of the things you do is hypnotizing people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, that is an interesting field. Now, I got to make a confession. Like, I'd have a hard time, hypnotizing or having the privilege to hypnotize people because, like, I'm a pervert, and you can't.
Has anyone ever convinced of being like any kinky thoughts
or crimes? Like, anybody confessed to any strange kinks or like?
We have to know,
right?
Okay, we have to.
Or is that confidential?
Oh,
that might be like a doctor. Dentist.
Well, there is HIPAA, but that would only apply to specific people.
Right.
No, so I wish I had a more fun answer to this question. But the truth is not that interesting. But I'll tell you the truth. It's not like what people think. It's not like what you see in movies and television. It's not. In other words, it's not mind control. So if I hypnotize you, I don't put you into a trance and get you to tell.
My mind went fucking dark. I mean, I was like, I can't. Some things you got to have some self-discipline, and I'm like, the world made me where I am not allowed or have the ability to hypnotize people because I'd be, robbing banks and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I can't make anyone do anything against their will. The truth is, if I take you into a state of hypnosis, you're in control the entire time. I'm just guiding you through the process. And you can wake up from it anytime you want to. If I say something to you like, hey, you might find that you want to rob a bank and then bring me back all the money.
No kinky stuff.
Wouldn't work. No.
Oh, Lex. we had all kinds of bets
I'm kidding.
So without too much, is there anything wild or truly interesting that's happened during a session that is worth sharing? Like, has anybody? I keep thinking of people ripping their pants off and running. I don't know why.
No.
No. But I don't know. Has anybody channeled Hendrix or a dead uncle?
No, well, I have the closest thing to that is I have done some past life regression sessions. I am certified in that, and those get pretty interesting when people. I mean, whether you believe in it or not, I mean, it's an experience. It's the person experiencing it. They believe it's happening, and they will tell me some pretty interesting things. That they're seeing when they in their mind.
People you can hypnotize.
Yeah. I mean, those are fun. I like past life regression sessions. Those are the most interesting. But
Lex, you get the last question with Matt.
What's one thing that radio and podcast hosts can do differently or just do in general?
Yeah, what are we missing?
In the years to come to keep people listening to the radio and being interested in these types of media outlets?
That's an excellent question because it's becoming harder and harder because there's so much. So much. Everybody has a podcast now. And anyone listening or watching this, if you don't have a podcast, you will someday. Someday before you die, you'll have a podcast. So it's very, very difficult. One thing that I tell everybody is just be yourself and don't overthink it, and do the kind of show that you think would be interesting to do. Don't don't try to copy anybody else. Don't try to model yourself after anybody else. Just like with music, with music, you shouldn't be chasing trends, right? You should do the kind of music that you want to do. And that's what you're most likely to succeed with, is something that you're excited about creating. I always give the example, what if Kurt Cobain had said, you know what? Hair metal is really popular still. Maybe Nirvana should be a hair metal band. Think about how different things might have been if he had chosen that. So the same thing with podcasting. Do the kind of show that you want to do and be yourself, because that's the only way you can do something that is truly unique, because there's only one of you. So just be you and do the show that you most want to do.
I love that.
Great. Matt
You're
Connarton, WMNH 95.3. Don't miss out. Don't be crazy and miss out on one of the best shows Saturday mornings live in New England. You can catch it on Facebook. You can go to mattconnarton.com, or you could do like I do and just watch on Facebook.
Yeah,
I love watching on Facebook because we can type
see
to
you. Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
We like to interact.
I do see you in the chat room. I don't always get a chance to shout you out because sometimes, to be honest with you, depending on what's going on. So yeah, sometimes I just forget to look at the chat room.
No, it's okay. And then, you're busy, and then
I see it afterward.
Probably a lot of people commenting right now that we're ignoring. We appreciate you so much for spending some time with us. We'll see you in a month or so at Stormy Fest. We appreciate you taking out the time to be with us today on the Sepsiss Show.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yo, we love you too, man. Tell Jen we said hi, and we'll talk to you next time.
Absolutely.